Hello again, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and this is stock market wrap up for Monday, April 13th, 2015. And we're going to take a look at the market action today. Then we're going to look at four stocks tonight: Valero, Under Armour, NXP Semiconductors, and Mosaic. Okay, the Dow was down 80 points today. It had been pushing. It was kind of up, down, then unchanged, not doing a whole lot, and then kind of collapsed in the afternoon. And so you can see this type of candle. This has got me a little bit wary. I'm just kind of, this kind of this reversal type action in here. And, you didn't see a whole lot. This is kind of small move here. We'll look at the other indices. But it's now, again, it's just not taking out either one of these points yet. But this is, we'll see. I'm just kind of, all of a sudden, on a higher alert. And this was even a little more negative on the S&P 500, where it reversed down and closed near the low for the day. I mean, this could be reinforcing the fact that maybe we had a first one wave down. We're in corrective wave 2. And we're getting ready to do a third minor wave down. I mean, if this starts to break, we start to break these lows in a trend line in here. That's going to be what's going on. The NASDAQ, same type of thing. And again, you can't get too excited about it. It's 1 day's worth of price action. You need to see several days kind of coming together and see, with moving averages turn and all that good stuff. But sure didn't act very positive. This actually was, on the New York Composite, was the most negative look because it was what I call an outside down day. So this was not quite an engulfing day, because I would call more of an engulfing, a pure engulfing, where the open was above the high and then it closed below like this. But it was an outside down day because the high was higher than yesterday's high. The low was lower than yesterday's low. And then we closed down from the opening and down from yesterday. And I say yesterday, Friday. So, kind of a negative reversal type action in here. And the last time you saw this kind of move on the New York Composite was you got to go back to September at the top, okay? Twice. Okay, so you saw this outside down day right here, and then you sold off. Then we got a little rally, and then we saw another outside down day right here, and then we got the dramatic sell-off. So that's why I'm just a little bit, we need to be careful here. I mean, I know we got a couple call trade ideas. I'll be, looking at those stops real closely, and Apple was kind of disappointing today. The way Apple just kind of reversed back down after trading trading up nicely, and been in the trade idea now for 5 days. So I will be tightening the stop on Apple. I'll have to take a look at it and figure out how to tighten it. I'm not going to sit here and do a lot of wishing and hoping on it, especially the way it reversed today. Facebook, we've been in it for 6 days. Same thing on Facebook. Again, that acted probably better than almost any, most of them today, and it was really, really trending. Then it pulled back. Twitter acted nice, so we'll just and then we got into NXP Semiconductors, and I'll touch on that here in just a minute. I want to look at let's go to short-term trading index. Let's just go the sequence we always go. Okay, so the 10-day here on the short-term trading index is at 0.99. Continuing to get a little bullish. We have not hit an extreme yet. We're not at an extreme on the put to call either. I just checked it. VIX is, okay, so, naturally the market, sells off, and, so the VIX is rallying, but did not close back above the 10 yet. So again, nothing. Let me look at the indicator on this. It never did get oversold, down below 30 on the RSI. No real strong indication. The high-low, again, was just kind of dipped down a little bit, but See this flat little action here when the price was, all the indices were moving up, and this just was kind of chopping sideways. And then, back to the McClellan oscillator, which is on here. And so the McClellan oscillator is doing a similar type thing to the high-low, actually. Now here we go. Now we got the drop. Okay, see, that's why the data sometimes just doesn't revise till after like 6:30 Central Time for final readings coming off the New York Stock Exchange, final numbers. So I've got a McClellan oscillators down around 15, approaching back down to 0 to the neutral, right in the middle, right in the neutral line. But, broke down from this little choppiness of several days last week. Okay, semiconductors. I'm going to take a look at the SMH. This is, again, looks like an outside down day. Was it low 55.83 on Friday? Yes. Okay, so we had an outside down day here, and we'll see, which trend line is going to break first, this one or this one. Right now, this is starting to look a little bit like an ABC, like this was a corrective wave, and we'll see if we break this trend line and come on down. The home builders. This was interesting that the close on the home builders here today was the lowest close in the last 10 days. Okay, so even though it was starting to act a little bit bullish here, we just got no follow through, and looks like it may be trying to roll over. We'll see. The other one that's kind of interesting is almost the opposite, really, is the financial ETF that is the highest close of the last 13 days. But this still looks almost kind of wedgy. Well, not wedge, but it's a consolidation pattern to me. I mean, you could say it's just kind of breaking out, but I'm not so convinced yet. I mean, we'll just have to see. It's not breaking that trend line in the RSI. I mean, demand index is positive. RSI is above 50. This isn't showing you anything on the directional index. And there's no trend. I mean, ADX down 13. There's no trend going on at all. Surprise, surprise, we're just going sideways. So I don't know. This could still just be just a bunch of consolidation. Okay, let's take a look at Valero. It's probably right in front of my face. Well, I know I had it up, and it probably, when I was moving around looking at several things, and there we go. Okay, so Valero was down pretty good today, down $2.27, and but now I'm just kind of wondering, is this part of a kind of a sideways corrective flat, like an Elliott wave flat? Are we still pushing higher out of this? Pretty strong upward moving 55-day moving average here. We'll see whether, let's see the divergence. No, it's not really showing divergence on that, and DI minus is above DI plus, and not really showing divergence there either. I wouldn't call that divergence. So we'll see. I mean, it's definitely a short-term trend is to the downside, and there's nothing that I see that in terms of a setup that I'd want to take a trade on. Under Armour. I'm gonna look at Under Armour, and in honor of Mr. Spieth's big win over at the Masters this weekend, setting all those records and tying Tiger's lowest lowest tournament score. Pretty amazing the way he held up and the way he performed. And of course, every day you saw Under Armour right on the screen all day long with him leading the tournament. So now this little doji bar here on Under Armour, this almost looks to me, if this is a fourth primary, kind of a sideways corrective type triangle, this looks a little like a 1-2, or maybe you got a little 5 waves for a 3, third wave here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so that would mean to me that we're getting ready to correct back down into here. We'll have to watch to see. We are getting divergence on almost all indicators. So this could be a little bit of a short-term top. I'd be watching to see if it does reverse on down and set something up. Mosaic. I want to take a look at Mosaic. Haven't looked at this in a long time. And again, we're in a short-term trend down, and actually intermediate trend is to the downside. Oh, I'm sorry. The long-term trend is still higher. We got 55 above the 233, the 21's below the 55, and the 10's below 21. So short-term and intermediate is to the downside, and as you can see, it's had this big swing move, and moving averages always lag. It's just nice to kind of confirm the trend and picture with them. So what's going on with this? I think it's interesting that you have this consolidation over here. Okay, you had this triangular symmetrical triangle, and it broke on out of it. But because of this, all of this consolidation, this is where it's getting support right now. So it'll be interesting to see whether it can hold or whether it breaks down out of this. Now, this is kind of a little bit of a negative move that's making here. But boy, it is trying to put in a bottom on the indicator. I mean, these were all, bullish divergence trying to come in. But you can see when something gets so overbought or oversold, a lot of times this just means it's in a super strong downtrend, okay? And so you got to be careful when you get a really low reading or a really high reading. You got to be careful about the initial divergences that are showing up. And same thing is happening. It could be rolling back over and maybe wants to come down and test these lows. Let's see if I can see anything here. Again, this is all part of that had that huge break back in July 2013, and then it rallied, sold off, rallied, came back up, finally completely, and almost closed the gap here, and then pulled back up further here. So I don't know. It's really hard to tell what's going on with this. It's just a lot of volatile swinging back and forth. And right now it's swinging to the downside. It's tempting to take this, but it's just not quite. It's not something that's just kind of, for whatever reason, it's not ringing my bell on that. And golly, I thought I had. I think what happens is when I move, I'll look at something and then I'll look at something else, and then that doesn't stay open. So it's like NXP. So NXP, this is one I mentioned on Saturday as one I was watching and we were looking to get into. And so the entries got triggered today. So got puts on this near the close. And we'll see whether this does another breakdown and another leg to the downside, comes down here. It'd be nice if it came down to the 55, bottom of the Keltner channel. That'd be a nice little short-term move. I'd be testing this low here, and actually if it comes down and starts to do that, it may come all the way down and close the gap. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what kind of follow through we get, but right now we're gonna play it. Okay, that's it for tonight. For Monday, this is Joe for Beyond the Chart. We'll be back tomorrow night with another market wrap. And so again, if you're watching this anywhere else besides my website, head on over there, check out the post. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. It's real easy to do. It gives you access to the Trade Ideas webpage and free PDF got for you. Okay, that's it. Everyone have a great Tuesday.